Hi and welcome again. Today we're going to look at a room on TryHackMe called Basic Pentesting. So Basic Pentesting is a room that is a machine that allows you to practice web app hacking and privilege escalation. So let's scroll down a bit and see what this room is all about. Now, it is not a secret that I completed this room a long time ago, but I figured I never created a video for it for my YouTube channel, so of course, why not? So if you don't want the answers right now, spoiler alert, I'm gonna scroll down and show everything. What I'm gonna do in this room is showcase how I found the different answers and how I compromised the machine. So first of all, we need to start up the machine, which I'm doing right now, and then we have to answer the question that we started the machine. While we wait for that, we need to find services exposed by the machine and then start to answer different questions. Of course, you can see all the answers here. However, the walkthrough of how to find the answers is what this tutorial is going to be all about. So while waiting for this, I'm going to pause the video and get back whenever the IP address is up. Alright, so we got our IP. So first of all, I'm just going to copy the IP address, go to the browser and just put it in. And just to see that the undergoing maintenance is still going on, I'm gonna press Ctrl U to see that, and it says check out dev note section if you don't know what to work on. So I would say this is a clue to where we'll look, but for now let's just do a normal scan. So let's do a nmap scan for services, and well, that is not the IP address I copy pasted. So let's just copy it once again, and there we go. Let's also start a GoBuster directory scan on this host using this word list. It's gonna be the directory 2.3. Let's do small and run it. So while the scans are running, let's just go have a look at the web page one more time and see. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there's nothing just called dev, right? It could be a normal first tryout whenever you see the dev node section. So the section could be interpreted as a /something folder we can access on the web. Another thing also to check is robots.txt. And it seems that there are none on this particular server. Alright, so let's go have a look at the nmap scan. It's kind of just hanging there. Okay. And so there's a development folder, but I'm kind of worried that the nmap scan is just hanging because it's just a normal scan. Let's just try to ping the machine while it's running. Let's do that. Just ping. Okay, so the machine is up. So the nmap scan is just slow. Alright, so it was just a difficult scan, I would seem, or just a stressed server. What we get back here is the normal 2 SSH, kind of standard version running Ubuntu server. We get the port 80 open on some Apache server, again running on Ubuntu. Then we have the Samba server, which could be interesting, and we have some weird 809 port open, which could be like it could be anything. Basically, I guess it could be a try just to say, can I access 809 just like that? And it does say, let me just turn off burp on my machine. Sorry for that. And it does not return anything particular to us, so I'm pretty sure that this port is not anything web related. And it's a struggle to find the inlet scan. We have another one called HTTP proxy. It's gonna be the 8080. Let's have a look at that. So 8080, and we have a Apache Tomcat right here. And in some occasions, it could be interesting to look at this. However, this looks just like a normal standard installation of Tomcat, nothing particular, nothing that insecure, so I'm gonna not pay attention too much to that for the moment. What I'm really more interested in is the Samba server right here we can see running, and we have nothing below. What I also get back from the scan is the development folder on the IP address. So I'm gonna try and access that. So let's just take this page and take the development folder. And okay, so here we have our dev node and a node called yay.text. So let's access the dev node, and it kind of says I've been messing with the stage strut stuff. Okay, and it's pretty cool. Might be need to host that on the server too. Haven't made a real web apps yet, but I tried to example to show if it works. And there's a vest version of an example. Okay, so alright, so nothing interesting, I would say. It does say J and K, which would imply that there are some usernames we can well enumerate at a certain later stage in this room. So what could be interesting to try now is to say, okay, so we have a Samba server and it's been configured, so let's just try and access that and do it on, let's say, this particular here. So SMB client, maybe we need, yes, SMB client, so it's gonna be the IP address, which wasn't in my clipboard. So let's take the IP one more time and paste it in and do the I cannot spell to that anonymous. No. Let's see what happens. Alright. It says unsuccessful to that. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Got the HTTP. Let's try again. And we have no password, so just, I guess, enter. Alright, so we have access, and what we see here is our Samba server. And what we see here is a small file called staff.txt, which could be interesting for us to read. Let's see how do we download this? Yeah, it's the get. I forget stuff. So, alright, so I think we have the file. Let's just write exit, I guess it is, and then do staff.txt, and inside the staff.txt file it says announcement to staff, please do not upload non-work related items to the share. I know it's all fun, but it is how mistakes happen. This means due to Jan, and K. So we have two usernames now. We have Jan and K. Let's just do a quick usernames. We have like Jan and we have K. So we know that those two are probably usernames to the system. And since we don't have anything in particular to go on, and the GoBuster scan stopped, and we don't have any special, well, files going on the SMB share, the file share, we are probably going to try and do some brute forcing on the SSH. So this is one of the rooms where brute forcing SSH is gonna be the way to go. Well, I guess so. I can't quite remember from the very long time that I did this room. So let's try and say clear the page, and the command I have it on a cheat sheet because I remember everything. It's gonna be, let's try Jan, and the password should be user share word list, and do rocku password. It's gonna be this IP. No. Sometimes I should really learn to copy paste the IP. So let's take it from this page. Copy. And it's gonna be SSH. So I'm gonna run this now. And alright, so it is starting to attack and brute force its way through. SSH and see if we can get a shell. And this is a very offensive way of getting access to a server, brute forcing my way through, trying different kind of passwords to a particular user. So while this run, I'm gonna pause the video for a bit and get back. If it returns with anything for you, it will seem like a few seconds. So just a quick status, we got our first result back, and it kind of tells us that it tried 177 different passwords, and we have it would seem 16 active threads or tasks, it would seem. So just going back to the TryHackMe side, we can start to put in some of the answers for the questions. We know the name of the hidden directory is called development. We are trying to brute force our way through. The username could either be Jan, whatever, and K, so you know we can just try one of them. And of course the other answers we cannot. What is the name of the other user? Yeah, K as well. The service to access, so that is SSH. And so what we kind of need to find right now is the password and the final password that I can obtain, which is probably obtained through root access. So nothing so far, so I'm gonna put the video to a pause and return back when the Hydra gave us some success answers. Alright, so the scan stopped now, and I just let it run for some time. It took like, 4 or 5 minutes, it would seem, and it came back with the password Armando, and if not mistaken, that is also the password that I listed here for a correct answer. So basically what we need now is to obtain the final password, and we need to get a shell in the box and probably root it before we can get the password. I don't remember exactly, so let's just say that Armando. So let's do a SSH connection to the IP address, which I'm really good at copy pasting, it would seem sometimes. Let's do Jan. Why do I? There we go. Jan and the IP address, and yes, I'm gonna fingerprint, and the password is Armando, and I'm gonna run the command who am I, just to see that I am Jan, and basically I am located in the home folder of Jan right now. So let's just, there's another folder called K, and inside there is a password.back file. So let's password.back, watch inside of that, permission denied. Okay, so it would seem that we need to probably access that file. So let's do a sudo.l to see which kind of permissions you have. Armando, and you may not run sudo on. Alright, so let's just say sudo su just to be sure. And okay, so I'm gonna get reported now. That's very funny. Let's try and do what we usually do and see cat etc password vd, and yeah, we can see that. So looking through this, let's see. It seems that it doesn't contain anything interesting. Other than we can see the user called K, which is gonna be the other user, but we kind of got that from the message on the SMB file server, so this is not something that seems useful in any way, just a lot of paths and names, and yeah, that's about it. So let's clear the screen, and we still have this password.back file, which is gonna be right here. It's owned by K, and he's the only one that can read or write. So we need to gain access to the K user, it would seem, or the root user. So just looking at the SSH folder, I'm gonna take a look at what's inside of that, since I can see something. And what I see here is a RSI key and some authorized key. Let's see what's inside of the authorized. So I cannot copy. There you go. It's not directory. Oh, it's not directory. Yeah, my bad. There's no D there. So there is a RSA key, and we could be able to use that for some. All right, so I would say that let's just output the RSA file, and we get all of this here. So it would seem that we got the private key. All right, so we got the private key for, it would seem, the user K, and we know what this means. That let's try and use it then. So I'm gonna copy all of this. You know, why not? And there we go. And then go to my own machine and say, where am I right now? I'm there. Let's say go to desktop and make a folder called Basic Pentesting. I'm gonna touch a file called IDRSA, and I'm gonna nano inside of it. I'm basically just gonna paste, save, exit, and we have the key. So now we're gonna change the permissions to 600 so we can use it for a connection. And basically let's do ssh.i and use that key on K and the IP address, which is a mystical area for me to understand. Remember, IP addresses are weird, so let's just take this. I'll never be able to remember it, so oops. Let's just use that and enter. Enter. No. All right.
LinPeas. LinPeas will let us do this in Linux. It has a sh0 because we won't have to do that manual checking all on our. I wonder if there's other local service. And we can read her private key. All right, let's do that. Let's cat that IDRSA file. There's a lot here. 108. Enter passphrase for the private key. So, okay. SSH to John, and you've probably seen a lot of these between like JWT to John or zip to John for other things that John can still crack. Let's go ahead and say SSH to John with our KD ID RSA, and now we have that hash that John the Ripper could understand, but not just the original file. So we have to run that tool before we give this file to John the Ripper to run and work with. So we'll call that for John.
Alright, so I found the bug, and basically what I need to do is just point the result to the file. Now, all these kind of different programs, you know, some of them work in one way, other ways, and whatever the arguments are. In this case, I kind of just need to point the hash that the SSH to John is converting to a format that John the Ripper, as a hacker program, can crack. So we need to divert that stream to the file called result. So basically I'm just gonna run that, and I can ls it all, and I also have a file called crack because I did actually just try to run it before. So let's just assume that we ran the command like this before, and now we have our result, so we can use that to crack with John the Ripper. So let's just try John, and John is not a command for me. Let's see if I have John installed. If it's called that exactly, I don't remember all the tool names. This is a perfect way to learn. So maybe I'm just gonna try and type John and Ripper. Okay, so let's try sudo apt-get install John. I would guess that would be the way to go. So it would seem that I did not have it installed on my computer. Already the newest version, so it is there already. So I need to find the folder where the binary file is located, because I cannot access it on just machine just typing John. So I'm gonna pause the video just for a second and see what I'm missing on my system. Alright, so I found the issue, and basically I had John the Ripper installed on my computer, but my path did not point to it. My location of John the Ripper were located in the user sbin folder where the John were located, so the John Ripper program. So what it really did was just point it in my path variables where I can go and type. Well, in this case, I guess I didn't fix it at all. Anyways, this is the path. So what I'm gonna do is basically run my John on the result variable that I have. I gotta use the word list from, let's say, user share word list list rock you that text, and I'm gonna let it run for just a second. And so it kinda seems that it finished, and it didn't really do what I wanted it to do. So I'm just gonna pause the video for a second and see what went wrong here. Alright, so it was a typical spelling error. I wrote word list, it should be word lists, so in plural. So basically I'm just gonna run the same code again with the S in the end and see if John's gonna help us cracking the password for the ID RSA, and it says beeswax. Looks like it's gonna be the password for the ID RSA key. Sorry for that. So let's go back and where did I try the connection? I think I did it here. Let's see. I think I have it saved. So yeah, this is where I did the initial SSH connection, and I'm gonna use the ID RSA key, the private key from K, and the password is gonna be beeswax, which I entered, which I'm not gonna, BES wax, and voila, I have a shell for K. I'm gonna go into this and cat the pass.bak file, and this is what I'm gonna get. Here is a long sentence. Going back to the TryHackMe room, I'm gonna see that this is the password that I can paste in, and I did not even need root access. Maybe there's a way to get root access on this machine. You know, I haven't really tried that. We can see if there is a root user, so you can try and further escalate yourself to root if that is even possible. We can just see where what is the permissions for K, and I do not be wasn't his password. Wasn't his password, so I cannot really do anything with the K user, it seems. So yeah, it's just gonna prompt me for the password. So for this machine, just briefly walking through it all again, we started off with the IP address. We ran a typical nmap scan, we ran a dearbuster scan, we found the Samba, the SMB share, and from that we got the names of J and K, which became Jan and K. Then we cracked the SSH connection for Jan to the password Armando, and then we got access to K's private SSH ID RSA file, which we then converted to something that John the Ripper can crack. We cracked it, logged in, got the password, outputted the file, pasted in here, and we got the correct answer, and we completed the room. Now, I know there are many different ways to complete this room. What I did is just to use some logic on how to find. Well, I saw the SSH folder and I accessed it, and I saw that I could read the actual file and the contents. So if we can get a private key, then it's a pretty good chance that we can we have 50% in most cases. In other cases, just the private key is enough. We don't even have to put in a password. So I hope you like this room, and I'm gonna apologize for the interruptions and the small box that I had here and there. I have a tendency to forget IP addresses and sometimes arguments and so on. However, if you like this video and you found it interesting, please consider to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below, click the bell for further notifications in the future. For now, bye bye.